And back here in Nigeria, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has grounded a Rano aircraft after a disturbing mid-air incident involving engine failure and smoke in the cabin. The aircraft was flying from Kano to Sokoto State when one of its engines reportedly went up in flames mid-air. Passengers were thrown into panic as smoke filled the cabin and flight deck, forcing the pilot to initiate emergency protocol. Despite the first incident, the same aircraft was reportedly cleared by Rano Air to operate a return flight to Kano just hours later. But shortly after takeoff, the aircraft began experiencing fresh issues and was forced to take back, making a second emergency landing in Sokoto State. The NCAA says the aircraft remains grounded and under investigation. The authority also confirmed the engine one failure, the presence of smoke, and activation of safety protocols. Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, NCAA Michael Achimogu, joins me to give an update on this situation. It's good to have you join us on the news at 1. This latest incident brings to the fore concerns raised over Nigeria's aviation safety record and how well we align with global best practices. Talk to us about this latest incident and what should we be expecting beyond just grounding this flight?
Thank you, Olamide. Just like with motor vehicles, aircraft will also have issues every once in a while. I make bold and proudly so to say that Nigeria has one of the best safety records, across the globe. Even more advanced countries around the world record astronomically higher air incidents than Nigeria does, and this is because here in Nigeria, once there's the slightest concern about safety, flights get cancelled until we are absolutely certain that the aircraft is airworthy. At 15:05 hours local time yesterday, the pilot reported to air traffic control about the fault with the engine one. But of course, most aircrafts, modern aircrafts, can fly on one engine. He made a safe landing without any major incident, even though all emergency protocols, were initiated. And the NCAA Director of Airworthiness had issued a notice to the airline yesterday to ground that aircraft until investigations were concluded and then repairs. Of course, engineers are already on ground in Kano, in Sokoto, fixing the aircraft. The aircraft, for those who do not know, is 5NBZY. That is 5 November Bravo Zulu Yankee. Contrary to some social media reports that the aircraft was allowed to fly again, it did not fly. It's still on ground in Sokoto as we speak. Of course, safety concerns will always arise in the industry, in an industry where the priority is safety and security. Aircraft every once in a while will develop technical issues. What matters most is the reaction of both the airline and the regulatory authority to these issues when they come. Failed engines are not new, and sometimes not even the biggest deal, in the industry. So long as the right things, the right protocols are initiated afterwards. And we thank God for safety of the passengers as well.
All right, thank you for clarifying that. But for those affected by this cancellation incident, what's in place for them in line with consumer protection laws?
Yeah, well, it's a technical issue,
okay,
that came up suddenly, so it's force majeure. Now, yesterday, the airline tried to get a rescue aircraft so that those passengers could still fly. Unfortunately, at the time, the rescue aircraft had already boarded passengers in Abuja heading to Katsina. There was no way those passengers in Abuja would have been deboarded. It would have caused chaos. And so the flight out of Sokoto was cancelled. And of course, naturally, they'll be rescheduled for the next available flight. The aircraft is being repaired as we speak. However, passengers should be aware that they do have a right to ask for refund of their tickets if they do not want to take that flight anymore.
Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, NCAA Michael Achimogu. Thank you for talking to us at this time.
You're welcome.